Hello, welcome back to Three Dudes on the Sofa. 1, 2, 3. With me, Interghost.
Shark 16.
And Colossal Vids.
And today's topic is going to be about 80s and 90s TV comedy programmes.
Yes.
And I think we'll start off with Mr. Shocks on this one.
Yes. I'd just like to point out though that because we're British, these might...
Oh yeah, British one, probably.
Yeah.
True.
So if you're American and you don't know these, we apologise. But yeah.
You should.
So I'm going to start off with one. I don't even think it started in the 80s. It might have been a bit before then. But it's got to be the classic Only Fools and Horses, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think every
I
generation...
think it is 80s.
It just
Yeah,
never,
it
it
might
never
be
gets
like
old. It just never
Very
gets
early
old.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's like one of the most quintessential British comedies.
And I think it's probably one of the ones which stands the test of time
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most out of any comedy.
I
Like a
think
lot of comedies now, you go back and it's very of the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas this, even though it's dated, every joke is still
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you could, even though you've seen the episodes millions and millions of times.
Still
When
laugh.
it starts, you go, oh, it's this one.
Yeah, yeah.
I like this one.
But you're still laughing at all the jokes and
Yeah.
stuff, aren't you? Even though you've seen it a million times.
And it's one of those programs they've never been able to replicate again.
No.
They've done like spin-offs of it, and they're just awful.
Yeah.
Like, the
Green grass.
Yeah, and you think, oh, how can they make it so wrong
And
when
they
they've done something so right?
Yeah.
You know?
And they did Rockin' Chips as well, didn't they? Which
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
like a prequel to it, didn't it?
Yeah, they did.
And they just can't do it.
Mm.
And then they did that little. I liked when they did that little kind of like spoof thing with David Beckham. You know, for Comic
Yeah.
Relief.
Yeah, the Comic
No,
Relief one.
Was it Comic Relief? Or was it Sport Relief?
Sport Relief,
Sport
probably,
Relief.
wasn't it?
And then they were in like the calf, and then it was just really well done. Actually, it was just I like that. That was cool.
But it's, yeah, like you said, it's just one of those things that you can't. It's like, what do you call it, like lightning in a bottle or something. where
Yeah.
You can only do it once. And,
Yeah, and you can't do it again.
Nah.
I like it when Trigger's like with the broom as well. It's like I had this broom. So how is it the same broom? Then if you kept changing the head on it.
Yeah, it was.
Why do you keep calling me Dave?
My name's Rodney. Alright then, Dave.
Alright, Dave.
Right, Dave.
The best, if I can say, the best, probably one of the best scenes for me is literally where Rodney's in the flat and he sticks on some classical music to try and unwind, and Trigger's sitting there on the sofa and he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "It's Mozart Symphony Number 30, whatever, in D major." And he's like, "Oh right, there are no words to this, Dave." So it's sort of instrumental. He's like, "Oh." And then like Delboy comes back in and is like, "What's this?" It's like Trigger goes, it's Mozart Symphony Number in D major. He's like, it's the karaoke version. Rodney just gets up and turns it off.
Karaoke though.
It's just. I'll always watch that and I'll always laugh whenever I see that.
So yeah, well,
So you got one now?
I've got
You got
one.
one? Yeah.
I've got one now. I always have one.
gonna
Well, get it out then.
take it away.
That. All right. For me, one of the ones that I used to watch time and time again and just always enjoy was definitely The Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah.
Just because it was, you just kind of really relate.
No.
You relate to the characters.
No. Yes.
No, yes. And you just always relate to the character, and it's great because obviously like Roger Lloyd Pack was in that. Trigger.
Yeah, Trigger from Only Fools and Horses.
Was obviously in that as well.
Yeah.
Is it Owen?
Oh yeah.
He played Owen, didn't he?
Yeah.
And they also had those like board meetings, which always never sort of went to plan and always just ended up being just chaotic.
I think that was probably one of the only times where Dawn French was actually funny.
Although I did like her in French and Saunders, before you say anything, I thought she was really funny. Not every part of French and Saunders was funny, but I liked I showed Shock some funny ones when they did some artist parodies.
Yeah. It's like French and Saunders, which we can actually put in this video because that was a comedy and stuff.
Jennifer Saunders she's good. She's a good writer as well.
It was. Yeah, they're good together, but like you say, it's very hit and miss. But whereas that, she's
a lot of their sketches
funny
weren't
in-
always amazing, but
Do you know
the
what I mean?
parody stuff, they did Titanic and some fun stuff as well. It was quite good because I liked Ab Fab as well with Jennifer Saunders. Absolutely fabulous. Was funny as well. But going back to obviously Vicar of Dibley, it was just always consistently good. I always found I just always enjoyed it, and the one-liners and the storylines, and Alice was always
Alice
hilarious.
Tinker,
Yeah.
Who's sadly passed away
Emma
now.
Chambers, who's
What?
yeah, Emma Chambers.
What with Bob?
He's no longer with us, which is really, really sad. But it was just a great show, and there's never any part of it that I didn't enjoy. And I always remember when they brought it back for like a like a reunion thing where you know when she finally got married. Geraldine finally got married.
They did a comic relief special of that, didn't they, with Johnny Depp in, I think.
I think they did. I think now you say it, yeah, it rings a bell.
And always the joke at the end with Alice.
Always always a joke.
Where always
I
like
don't get it.
we always dissect it, and she's like, well, then you don't need to like,
Like, what's brown and sticky?
Yeah.
A stick.
Yeah.
and she'd be like,
Well,
no,
sometimes
not
they're not always brown. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're a little bit green. A little bit.
they're always sticky.
Was that like the original after credits?
Yeah,
You know, like they do in all movies now.
Yeah, yeah.
They picked it from that.
Yeah.
Pretty
You have to, wait for the credits to roll.
Yeah.
But it was, and there was also that scene where she was trying to do like a protest, and she chained herself to the gate, didn't she? And then they were trying to make a stand, and she was there for like ages, and then Anthony Turner come on the TV, and she was like, no!
I think the best one was when she had to eat 3 Christmas dinners in one night.
Oh,
Yes.
That's good.
And the other famous one where she jumped in 3 puddles, and the first 2 were fine, and the third one she went straight through it. But yeah. But I love Dawn French. She's alright. She's good in quite a few things. So yeah.
The one?
My favourite one is Red Dwarf.
Oh, classic.
So yeah, it's been going for years. That
Yeah.
they just kept bringing back more and more series. They did get sort of crap near the end when they started
Is that when they started
bringing the crew back and stuff.
Oh, I was thinking where they was doing like the Canaries, where they became the Canaries. It's like they was in prison.
Oh yeah. That's when all the crew came back and yeah. But then recently they made a couple, I think about 3 more series, and they've gone back to how it was with just the main cast.
Yeah,
and
just
it's
the main like 4.
Yeah, and it just feels like the proper show. And yeah, I think British comedies work well because they haven't got a big budget, so they have to think of a way of getting only a couple of actors in one space and use that space. Like Red Dwarf, they're always in that bunk or in Starbug. Only Fools and Horses, they're always in the flat. So it's low cost, which means the writing has to be really good.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think that's why British comedies work really well. Like another one I was going to say, Faulty Towers.
Yeah, Faulty Towers. Yeah.
All set pretty much in
Just
reception. And that was it.
But then it also reminds me of, do you remember Acorn Antiques?
Oh, Victoria Wood.
Yeah, and Julie Walters, Celia Imrie, and they the great thing about that show, if you ever do see it, is that they purposely go wrong. So they would have it where the camera shot would always be where someone you couldn't see him because someone else was in the way,
sets would
and
fall
then they would
down
move.
and stuff like that.
And
So.
Julie Walters played that eccentric kind of character, and it was just really funny. Yeah.
But if we could just go back to Red Dwarf for a minute, what I really liked about Red Dwarf is the storylines were so good though. Like it really. Do you know what I mean? They had some like really interesting and thought-provoking.
Yeah, and if you consider each
kind of
episode being like half an hour, they get cram a whole story into it, don't they? Like beginning and an end. It doesn't sort of follow on.
Yeah, and like you said, I like the fact that they brought it back and apparently it's still doing well. So
yeah.
Because Craig Charles obviously still at the forefront, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's still...
Yeah, it's got all the original cast, which is another bonus.
Yeah, I like Craig Charles.
So yeah, and another one I used to like was Men Behaving Badly.
Yeah.
The dancing around at the start. Well, it was at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah. It was just silly, but it was good.
Didn't Bottom do the same sort of thing as that? They have a little dance at the end.
That was on the other day, or the other day, in the tent.
With the tampon hamster.
Yeah.
I wonder how much meat you get on a womble.
But yeah, Men Behaving Badly. Did you know that the first series was actually Harry Enfield?
Yeah.
And then he left, and then that's when Neil Morrison
I see. No.
replaced him.
Because I've seen obviously Harry
when
Enfield.
you like a lot of people don't
can't remember
realise
that bit.
because he was only in it for like the first series, and then Neil Morrison did it all the way.
Different flatmate.
Yeah.
Because Kevin and Perry, even the sketches, not just the film, the sketches were good as well.
Old Bob the Builder.
Oh yeah, you voiced Bob the Builder, didn't you? Yeah.
Working together, they get the job done.
So but if we're moving on to Bottom, we've got to.
Bottom,
you can't go on without mentioning that one, can you? So
Bottom is sort of. It always felt like a sequel to Young Ones. I thought. It's sort of very much similar humour.
But again, that's always they're normally always set in that same flat.
Yeah,
isn't
just
it?
in the flat.
In
Yeah,
the
that's
flat.
what I mean. They really use a space well, don't they? And just
Yeah.
manage to do, God knows, like 3 series all in one flat. You know, how can you get that many stories out of a room?
But there's manage it, don't it?
Yeah.
But it's mental, isn't it? Bottom is just mental.
Mm.
But like you say, it's like young ones. If you've seen the young ones,
Yeah.
then you know what to expect.
Yeah, it's just
like,
random.
Yeah.
It's like
Classic
how.
Rick Mail, who no longer with us.
No, he's not.
What?
He's not.
Who is it, darling?
I've got another one.
No. I'll go after you if you like.
Blackadder.
I'll wait.
Oh,
Blackadder
Blackadder,
with
yeah.
Ron Atkinson.
Yeah, who?
Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
Mr. Bean
most
is
people
one of the
recognise
best.
as Mr. Bean, but
But
I
he,
loved Mr.
that
Bean.
was probably his first major role, wasn't it, Blackadder?
yeah.
And then sort of the first series, I've watched them recently. First one isn't that good.
Well, he plays it differently, don't like he
Yeah.
was the fool in the first series, but then they reversed it so he was like the more intelligent one,
Yeah.
and Baldrick is the the dumb
Yeah.
one, isn't he?
And then they sort of carried that on.
Yeah, because that's the formula that worked best, obviously. And I think
Yeah.
we'll all agree that it does work best.
And I think this sort of rare occasion where the series got better as it went through.
Mm.
Whereas normally you sort of go, oh, they've done this
Yeah.
to death now. I think by the time we got to goes fourth, is it?
Yeah,
We're in the army.
yeah,
I think that was probably the best series out of all.
and
of them.
that's worth mentioning as well. That they always set it in a different time period.
Yeah.
So does it start? Is it like Edwardian or something?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Victorian,
yeah. Elizabethan.
Elizabethan and stuff like that, and then obviously it goes into World War One, into
Yeah.
where they go.
And they go over the top at the
Yeah,
end.
at the end. So yeah, Dan, what was you gonna?
And this is mainly because it was on at my nan's back in the day when we used to spend summers and loads of, endless weeks round hers. She had it in the kitchen and it was just funny and it was just on, so you watched it, keeping up appearances.
Oh yeah.
Onslow. Nice.
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 It's my sister Rose.
See, I've got fond memories of that programme,
Yeah.
but it is crap.
Mm.
If you watch it,
Like if you go back.
But it is funny to see the contrast between the life she was living
yeah.
and then obviously
I mean, I watched it every week,
Yeah.
but you think it is such a rubbish programme.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bucket.
And they do the same
Okay.
joke every time.
Mrs. Bucket.
Like
yeah.
walk past the dog in the car, and she falls in the bush.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, what again? Wait for it.
Richard. I think he's probably the best character in that, Richard, because he is just like
He's the normal.
yeah, he's the normal guy, and you can
Putting up
just
with everything.
see that he's
See.
being tortured by
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
like, having to live with this woman.
And even their neighbours.
Daddy's run away.
Daddy's run away.
And even their neighbours that would come in every now and again, and they just like, you remember that? She'd
Yeah.
be like, taking a sip of her tea, and she's like, ah,
Yeah.
puts it down. But yeah, no, it just was always on, so you just kind of watched it anyway. But it was silly, for what it was, but it was.
It is a classic.
Yeah, it was, I think, and one of mine that I remember really fondly.
It's bouquet, B-U-C-K-E-T, bouquet. The accent on the second syllable.
One that I used to like watching, but I think when you watch some of the episodes back now, they're quite boring, to be honest with you. But it was Last of the Summer Wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another one. It's really weird. I used to watch that every weekend. But it's rubbish. It's so bad.
I never saw it. I never really saw it.
I think it got worse as it went on, didn't it? Where like some series get better, this one just
Yeah.
and
They just got really, really old.
yeah, well, that's the thing, because
are
it
they dead?
like centers like the main characters centers around like old men, don't it?
Yeah.
So like as it went on, they kept on replacing the characters, didn't they? Because yeah, they died in real life. What? But yeah, they all are dead now, I think, because
Wow.
Clegg,
Even old
is it Clegg?
Wallace.
He voiced Wallace.
More cheese, grab it.
Yeah, he was the last one to die, I think, wasn't he? He died quite
Even
recently.
Wensleydale.
But like the other one, I think I was mentioning to you the other day,
Nora
Shoots, actually,
Bay.
was one that I obviously didn't see back then because I wasn't necessarily alive. To make people jealous.
You weren't alive?
Actually, wasn't on this earth. I wasn't on these planes. But
In the
parents put it on YouTube and showed me and my brother 3 episodes. Love Thy Neighbour.
Ooh.
and how for the time,
Oh yeah, that is
was
bad.
it was out there, and it
That
was
was 70s,
it was
that
Yeah.
it was really quite extreme.
It's like very like racist
Have
and impolitically correct. But like you say, it wasn't made.
But no, it wasn't
Yeah,
made for this
something like
generation.
of its
yeah,
time, isn't it?
yeah, very of its time.
You would, obviously wouldn't see it now, but
But have you seen recently they put Faulty Towers back on BBC, and at the beginning it has a warning at the start
Oh,
saying,
does it?
really,
warning, some of these jokes are of a different era.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you are easily offended, do not watch it.
it's a
Something
shame they
like
have
that.
to do
So-
that. It is a shame they have to do that.
Because
I just think it wasn't your generation, so if you don't like it and it does offend you, just switch off.
I guess people now who've never seen it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
watch it and think, how the hell are they getting away with
But-
that?
Yeah, but you can see the quality.
When it comes to like
You can
Love
see the
Line
quality.
Neighbour, that's not replayed on TV.
No,
so
they're not allowed to.
Yeah, you could.
so if you've watched that now,
Yeah.
then you've gone out your way to watch it.
True.
So that, in my opinion, you don't get to moan about it.
No, because
You've gone out your way to be offended by that.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like Faulty Towers, fair enough, because they're showing it, so you
Yeah.
could just come across that by accident,
Yeah,
can't you?
and you, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
But
It
no,
just
we
goes to
found
show
it
that
quite
things change.
entertaining. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie, we found it entertaining.
Well, yeah. Like you say though, it was of its
How
time.
dare I? How dare I?
How dare you have a sense of humour?
I know.
So
It's
yeah.
just not. It's not acceptable, is it?
Have we exhausted it, or are we any more that come to mind?
Tom and Jerry?
And we're end the
Come on! If you saw that last episode, you know, I was put on the spot. It was a big one that I watched. But, is there any others that was on comedy shows? British Empire.
Mm.
Yeah, the British
I
Empire.
didn't realise how long that went on for. There was literally like 12 series or something
I
stupid.
didn't go that
Yeah.
far.
The
There-
British Empire.
No, really, there are. There's loads of them.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I looked the other day to buy the
Hmm.
box set. I thought, oh, I'll get them. I thought they're probably about 3 or 4 series.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was loads of them. I thought,
Wow.
really, how long did that run for?
It's like, yeah, I didn't think it.
No.
I think it was. I thought it was just like one of them flash in the pan where it just
No.
had like 1 or 2 series. Like,
Because we went to the Sci-Fi Weekender and he was there,
yeah,
and they were saying they asked him, didn't they?
Craig Barry.
I said they asked him, and someone in the crowd said, "Would you entertain
Well,
like a Red Dwarf and
yeah.
British Empire crossover?"
yeah.
Yeah, funny.
Which would be, I guess, interesting. Or
But didn't you say that
Yes, Mr. British.
spoilers? And it got like a really bad ending. Like, are they series ending? Didn't you say something like
Oh yeah, I can't remember what happened.
Is it like a dream or something?
Yeah, I think it is.
Like
yeah,
the whole-
it is. Yeah, he dreams that he's the manager of this place, and he
Leisure-
wasn't.
leisure
Really,
centre.
yeah, and he wasn't.
So that's basically the
Yeah.
whole. So that the write off the whole.
Yeah.
12
That's
seasons
it.
that it was just a dream.
Massive spoiler! It's a massive spoiler. Don't start on season. You're someone out there that's just about to start season 1. There's no point. There's no point. What about the other one? Is it Alfie Descend Pet?
Oh yeah.
Was that a comedy though? Was that
Was
more
it?
like a drama?
Yeah, it's more like a drama.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it had like comedy elements to it.
Oh,
so, like,
okay.
Yeah, my mum
comedy-
used to
Father
watch
Ted.
that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
same.
Father Ted.
Father Ted.
Father
Oh,
Ted.
feck.
And Open All Hours as well.
yeah, open all out.
Oh, that went bad.
They brought that
Yeah.
back
Brought it
when
back.
Yeah.
when
they're
David
still,
Jason.
They're still open all out.
It's still
Still
open.
Open All Hours.
Still open.
Next one will be called We're Closed.
Yeah. We might shut shop at the weekend.
They closed on bank holidays.
We've gone 24/7.
So yeah, I think we've
I think
been through them all now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably more out there.
Oh, yeah, of
Obviously,
course
a lot
there
more
is,
out there.
of course
So if
there
you
is.
remember any, obviously, comments below,
Yeah, for sure.
let us
What have we
know.
missed? Which we'll
Click
read.
the bell.
We'll read it.
And we'll see you in the next episode of
3 dudes and a
So far.
See you then.
Have a good one.
boom.